Hey you guys, Golden here. Okay, so I want to talk about something real quick. And I was just thinking about this because I seen someone react to season 3 episode, I think that's 21, where Barry finally finds out who Savitar is, and he's actually talking to Savitar, and Savitar's explaining how he was created and everything else. And I was just thinking to myself, like, wait a minute. I thought I understood everything about how Savitar was created and everything. But then I was just thinking to myself, there was a scene, and I think like the next episode, I think it was 22, where he comes back to Star Labs, and then he's just talking to both Barry and Iris, and he was like saying he created something to end up stopping DeVoe. But then I'm just thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, stopping DeVoe. Did he do that early by like season 3 or 4? Because if so, then who was the big bad villain in season 3 for Savitar in his time? You get what I'm saying, right? But then I just started to think, okay, so if so, if it's still like a whole time loop, then does that mean that he's not the very first person to create Savitar? And this brings back from what Cisco said. Cisco said it's literally like a time loop and it never stops. Which basically means it's still a whole time loop no matter what. Savitar is a name out there. Nobody knows who it actually is until Barry finds out and finally goes crazy. Which brings back into no matter what it is, it's always gonna be a time loop. As in meaning, full circle in how Barry's mother died. Barry's mother died, and it was like a future Barry trying to stop himself to like really just go ahead and try to save her. Which meaning that Barry is from season 8 Barry. Cause that Barry, not that Barry, not the future Barry, current Barry in that season 1, he did the same thing in season 8. He didn't try to save his mom and let everything happen all along, but he saved himself. Which means it's all a time loop no matter what. You get what I'm saying? Is it too difficult for you? Okay, I'll go back. I'll say it slowly. Just think about it. I'm gonna start off with like the whole Flash thing, how basically he saved himself, and then I go on with Savitar. So in season 1, Barry was supposed to do this big thing and save his mom and live a happy life, exactly how Flashpoint was, correct? Right. But then he decided not to do that and decided to be with his regular family in his time. But then his future self told him not to because that would just change absolutely everything, which would create Flashpoint, which also means that future Barry already created Flashpoint. Because this is season 8 Barry we're talking about here. But then at the same time, by that, 8 years from now, the current Barry from season 1 did the exact same thing in season 8. He saved himself and decided not to just save his mom. You get it now? It's a whole loop that would never end whatsoever, no matter what. I mean, literally, it's the same thing for Savitar. Savitar is a name out there, but nobody knows who Savitar really is. I mean, shoot, not even Thawne knew at first, until he finally figured it out. But we don't know how he figured it out, which I really wish they actually, well, tell us how it was all figured out. But anyway, so everything's really a time loop. Like I said, Savitar is in the name, but nobody knew who Savitar really is. It actually brings into Barry going crazy after what he went through, which also means he decided to be Savitar himself, which would create his name, Savitar. You get it? It's a whole time loop. So the whole Savitar name, that's written way, way in the past. So Savitar is just a name. But then Barry figured out, oh, why not call himself Savitar? Instead of just calling himself Barry, you know? He tried to figure out a name for himself, but then he found out from the past, which is Savitar, and he called himself Savitar, because Savitar's name is supposed to be like this dark, secret, something that people are afraid of. And he kind of, like, he wants people to be afraid of him, but just in a different way, how Zoom wanted people to be afraid of him. Instead, he created a whole lie saying he was the very first speedster, even knowing we all know that he's not the very first speedster. I don't know like what number Barry is as a type of speedster, but he's not the very first one. Is he the fastest? Yes. So, now you understand? Everything is really a time loop. I didn't even notice this until now. Sorry, my eye is bothering me. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that's the whole point. I hope you guys understood. Ugh.